Hello.
Hello,
Hello.
everyone. Hello, Mohamed.
Hey.
Hello, Eric. How are you?
Doing great.
Oh,
Thanks for asking.
Great.
yeah, so excited for today's topic. Thank you, Eric, for accepting our invite to share your thoughts and experience in the AI area, especially in the governance area. But let me give a quick introduction about yourself as well, and for our audience to know more about our lovely guest tonight or today. We have Eric Heijari in Finland. We say it Heijari, as Eric told me, a seasoned executive with over 20 years of experience in entrepreneurship, business strategy, and AI. And currently, Eric is the COO, Chief Operating Officer, at a company called Sofigate, based in Finland. And today, Eric will share with us some details about how companies and businesses could implement the AI and consider the governance to implement the AI properly when we talk about how we use our data, our privacy, and our overall governance. Thank you, Eric, and would like to share more details about yourself with our audience.
Yeah, absolutely. So you covered most of it, but I have a long history in, let's say, entrepreneurship. I have a history in consulting. I have been living in North America for 6 years in Chicago, New York, and Dallas areas, and been working with big American companies there as a project manager and different other kinds of duties, PMO related and stuff. So after that, I came back to Finland, and now I'm working for this. I would say we are at the moment growing rapidly at Sofigate, and of course with AI also. We are located in Sweden, Norway, Finland, and some other Northern European countries, and we are expanding quickly. So that's, in short, my story.
Interesting. That's amazing. I'm very excited today, me and Damien, for having this as our first episode for the season two of the Go Big series at Kogia, focusing on the AI area. But let's start our conversation. And my first question for you, Eric, on what is the definition of AI governance, and why do you think it's a very crucial and important area to focus for businesses, especially today with this huge hype around the AI and artificial intelligence and the potential using it for businesses?
You know, Mohamed, you nailed it. It is about the hype.
Mhm.
AI cannot be only hype. And I
Mm.
believe that is the key for the governance side. So the AI leadership and governance in our understanding and my understanding comes from the fact that we have to put certain operating model around how to manage AI and how to do those decisions, like when to use it, with what data to use it, what aspects of AI to use, and so on and so forth. So in short, that's AI governance.
Mhm. Interesting. Actually, that's very close to what we try to discuss with some clients and even some friends. AI definitely can add value, but we need to consider what are the fuel of this AI thing, which is data, and how we can use data, and even how to can secure our data when we use AI, whether it's an external API connected with any kind of API models, or we might think of implementing something or some models in house. That's great.
Yeah, and you're right. You're right, Eric. It's just not a buzzword anymore. It's used. The thing is, it's used everywhere, but we have has professionals and also to tell like what exactly it is. But it's not a buzzword. It's in our daily life. We all have to use it. We're in the next revolution. Everybody almost says it, and it's not. AI will be in everything. It will be industry agnostic. It will be in some different kind of positions that will be enabled to use, or it will be the whole organization. I think you have the challenge as you say, the AI governance and all. Tell us if there's a difference for you in the AI leadership, AI governance. Like, is there a difference in when you talk about that?
Sorry, can you repeat the question? I think you were breaking a little bit, at least my end.
Yeah. I think
The last one. Yes, I was. Is it? we're back, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was saying, yeah, I was saying, like, I was finishing by saying, like, AI governance, AI leadership for you, is it different? Is it to handle differently on your side? Like, what's your definition on versus the leadership, AI leadership inside an organization?
You know, I believe it's kind of connected very strongly. So AI leadership to me is a kind of something that the whole company needs to take a grasp on, and that's the core of the AI, that you lead your company to new directions. In many cases, in the companies we are working with, even the CEO themselves have this in their agenda. So that's real leadership, that it comes from the top management in these companies. And then when it comes to the governance level, that's not anymore the CEO doing that. That is the people, in the organization's structure doing that. So what I'm kind of like in the governance side, we are putting like meat to the bones here. That means, for example, we are putting together an AI steering committee. We are putting together teams like privacy, risk, and compliance team. We are putting together our data governance team, which have their own kind of like things what they do in this data governance model. And also we have something called AI Factory, which is the core of our Sofigate's approach to this AI leadership. So kind of like that kind of thing kind of answers to your question, I believe, that how do we actually do it?
Yeah, totally. I like when you said like the CEO, like it's going to the top level. He's taking the decision, and also he cannot lead. And then where the AI will be implemented, but the leadership has to be taken by the CEO. We're going to implement AI. We're facing like our data has to be secured. You have to implement that way, and then the governments start. And how do you because on the governments, like there's also this cultural and also regional difference on AI and strategy. So when you spread, like where the company is across is global, how do you handle that, like this cultural difference and also regional differences?
That's actually a great question, and many companies struggle with that fact at the moment, because certain countries have different limitations at the moment how to handle data. It basically all comes down to data. It comes down to privacy, risk, and compliance factors. It comes sometimes down to European Commission setting certain kind of like regulations. So there's many things, and that's why part of our AI governance team is this kind of compliance team, which makes sure that wherever that AI is planned to be used, and when I'm saying AI, I mean any application that we decide to suggest to this AI governance organization, that, hey, please check, can we use this kind of new way to use AI in this data in this tool and so on and so forth. Then the compliance team checks, is it possible and feasible, and how other countries are affected. So did I answer your question?
Yeah, and I wanted like to, I know, like if we focus, like for example in Europe, did you see like culturally differences, like even inside Europe, inside the different countries? Did you see like different behaviors or way to adopt it even?
Yes, we see, and basically that comes to the AI adoption, and that's a different conversation to some extent. Like, is the adoption happening on the end user level, like on the ground level? Is it happening on the top management? The top management is seeing it as a strategic initiative that they need to go in there, but that varies when you check which country is in question. So I don't know the answer to this question regarding each European country and so on, but I can tell that there are differences, there are cultural differences, one being the language. If AI cannot handle properly, like for example, in some cases, let's say in the past, Microsoft products couldn't yet speak Finnish so well, that of course kind of stopped them from moving forward with that kind of like AI side in public sector in Finland, for example, back in the day. Maybe now it's getting better and so on and so forth, but those kind of questions are important. Also, many big platforms which we are operating with SAP, we are operating with Microsoft, also we are operating with Salesforce and ServiceNow in our company. Those platforms also have different kinds of releases or the languages, for example, and that definitely causes work for us, that we have to think which country unit is ready for this kind of implementation, whichever it is.
Yeah, okay. And okay, I see. Thanks, Eerik.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. That takes me to the next point, because always we were asked this question for most of the clients. If they started to use the AI or have some transformation directions or plans for using AI, how do you think the ROI or the outcomes? This is the main question we get from most of the client. My question here for you, Eerik, in this one, how does implementing a robust AI governance or leadership framework or strategy improve the business returns and ROIs or outcomes?
You know what, Mohamed? It's a difference like a day and a night. If you're just talking about something, you're not really doing it. You know, that's a phenomenon around the world. You know, you have to really start doing it. And therefore, because AI is such a beast to some companies, you have to tame it by using AI governance, because that's the structured way how you think and how you chop down different aspects of certain, for example, with the data. First, you think, can this data be utilized with some kind of AI? Can it be utilized with an agent? Which is even more difficult question, because then the agent would actually fiddle with the data, and that causes a lot of open questions with a lot of customers. So those kind of questions needs to be answered first. But when you start chopping down, when you start building that house based on the AI governance, you will get answers: compliance, risks, data governance, effectiveness, ROI. You will get your business case, which probably will make you that kind of leap in productivity that you will leave other companies standing in the dust if you do it correctly.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, I think they can correlate what we have with our clients regarding this part. Would you like to share this, Damien? Your thought on this?
No, I totally agree. That's also the way we process us. At Kogia, when we implement like specific solutions, like, and it's to find a bottleneck, a moment, like where in the company where's the biggest struggle. And what we see all the time is, like, as you were mentioning, Eerik, like night and day, like the ROI on AI is crazy. Like, I think we all worked in digital transformation during many years. Now we're on AI transformation, but the outcome is not even comparable. Like, it's great, and even scares, like, humanly talking, like we have some case like where, the outcome is so impressive. It's just not the technical adoption, or because even technically it's maybe easier than 25 years ago of implementing a technical solution now than before, but now there's the humans to accept it and use it. So the big struggle is, like, in the governments, how to use it, not to be scared of it, because it will use. That's a main moment, because as you were saying, the return, the impact, when you identify it correctly inside the organization, it's huge. It's just I often say that word, like, it's crazy, the outcome. It blows the mind. So you exactly replied, and we're totally aligned with that, Eerik. So it goes to a question, like, we all have in mind. We don't have to unveil a client or whatever, but what's your like, can you share a real success story on an impact it had on the business or industry wise? Just to, don't name anyone, you don't have to, or if you want you can, but to tell us more, like, to be in a practical thing. Yeah.
Well, I have to be a little bit like careful with this one, but because there's such a huge competitive edge what these customers have when they take this leap of faith, and they don't want that kind of advantage to be kind of like reached by others necessarily. So I don't mention the names, but I can tell you that there's few examples where first there was a resistance and the customer was clearly saying no data ever will be going to AI cloud from this company, never, ever, ever, or something like that, along those lines. And now, today, they are getting huge advantages by utilizing the Gen AI here at the moment. And there's like huge database what they have been utilizing and driving into their cloud of AI. And now all the people who are working for this huge company are getting their daily directions easily searched for them from AI tool or bot. So in a way, like that's already super helpful. And that's only one example. Then there's another example where one company took this data governance model because they only had like a top management talking about higher level things. And they didn't really know how to kind of roll it out to the organization, to take it into use. And then when they brought this governance team, our AI factory team in, they really started to see the benefits because we are showing them the business case. You know, you're making money, you're making the leap in productivity with this thing. And then that made the company management interested. And in many cases, we have to remember that that's not like people easily kind of confuse that you're using like a language model as in, you know, Copilot or Chat GPT, but the leap could also be in your platforms. Those platforms could already have huge capabilities. Think about the data that you gather from your company. Sometimes people say that data is king, right? And in a way, if you use your data correctly with AI, you can get like that kind of like amazing results from other places from your company in those processes, but normally don't kind of even touch each other in a way that now you can make decisions based on what happens in HR, in finance, in sales, and you combine all that together in a data set, and then you get like something that you have never gotten before. And I cannot go into details, but I can tell that these kind of things are really game changers.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think the key here is to show the customer some benefits, to let them feel the outcome, how it will look like, how it will affect their business, to get more confidence or the next steps. And I think this is one of the very interesting things about the AI, and I like it so much because it is very helpful. Even the AI helps the AI providers to show the value very fast. Compared to the traditional digital transformation, it was not that easy to provide the value for the customer, but the AI is helping to even accelerate to show the value for the customers.
Yeah, you're right. Even now, like not simple, but there can be like amazing. Like we were talking about the data. The data, you're right, Eric. For it's the black gold, let's say, of our age. It's on the digital transformation side before, like you had to do a parsing very, very thoroughly of the data and all that. It took like sometimes like with big data sets, sometimes this was manual to be able to implement a digital AI digital transformation. Now this work has been kind of reduced because the AI can understand the data more easily. It can be like a little bit less structured, and we can really focus on the business outcome and less on the technical work. So I think that's also an interesting point like to raise. And yeah, it's give us all your data and we gain some time in the implementation. That's where, and we're very focused on, you're right, on the outcome, the business outcome. So we're more, we could call it AI business transformation. Yeah, basically, because we're very focused. Of course, there's a technical part, but you're right, there's also all this business focus aspect, and we can like be quicker on the technical part.
Yeah. I would like just to, before moving to the next point, to remind our lovely audience, you can share your questions in the comments of the live, And at the end of the conversation with Eerik, we can go through the questions. Okay, so let's move to the next one, which is very important for businesses as well to understand what are the challenges or the obstacles they might face when they try to implement the AI governance framework, and how do you think they can overcome this kind of challenge?
Well, of course, we covered some of the challenges already, and we saw the regulatory compliance, privacy matters, things like that. But those are things which, at the moment, are portrayed as like a showstoppers, or we're hitting against the wall. But if we can find a way how to make that work, it's worth our time. So I would say those things are biggest challenges. Naturally, there are also like I would say the adaptation. Not everybody is ready, or we need to have time to kind of have the mindset correct. But as in, I heard somewhere that people are afraid that they lose their jobs, and you touched that subject in your last podcast, I remember. And I would say, if you are afraid that you will lose your job to the AI, you should study something a little bit more. Because the thing is that nobody wants to be in a position where they can just deliver the thing what the AI is delivering. People can always add value. Think about, like, for example, the AI agents in the future. Somebody has to train them. You can be a trainer of AI. You don't need to be like a person who is just moving a number from Excel sheet, like, forward. You can kind of use AI yourself. And that's what I think, that like the resistance will be broken when people really understand that it's not going to take our jobs. It's going to make us multiple times more efficient.
Yeah.
Little bit like they say that new computers are going to be not only faster when it comes to quantum computing, but they say it's so much faster that we cannot calculate how much faster, infinitely faster. So that's a big number, right?
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, you're right.
That's yeah.
Go on.
Go ahead,
No,
David.
go.
Okay. Yeah, I just was that's exactly what we even faced with many clients, the resistance of their team. Even the CEO, the upper management or the C-level management are excited to use the AI and already have some plans and even started to implement such transformation direction. But the middle layer or even the lower layer of the team is resisting 100% to accept this kind of change. And even some clients, after they spend however whatever the number is, what kind of investment from $1 to even $1 million, it's very, very bad and very disappointing if the company have this investment to get something that really will help you to be more productive and more efficient, and you don't accept it just because you're afraid that this thing or this technology will take over your place. And that's why what part of our framework in implementing the AI, the first thing and the first step is to educate the team that the AI is an ally, not a competitor, or not someone is getting to get us out of the work life. That's very crucial, as you said.
Yeah, and where I agree is that also, like, that's the main pain point right now. Like the human adoption we talked about, it's just like not be scared, because there's new jobs that will be created. I don't have the data in mind, but in the next years, that just job that we don't even think about that will be enabled by AI, where humans will have to do. And also, if we take it like, if you're in your work, if this brings like this efficiency for the company, you can focus on other things and bring you as a human other values that can bring like even more business, or you can work on a different area or think further. So it's a way, I think, to just open the mind. And okay, it's useful. It even takes me like a task that maybe I didn't like to do before, and it's not an enemy. It's helping you, and we have to like see beyond. How can now, of course, it's a change. It's like you're getting outside of your comfort zone, and we know that us as humans, we don't like too much, getting outside of our comfort zone. But once you're out, you have to see all the potential of it and how it will like help you, and you have to think outside the box or on your own job. Like what will be the future of my own job with AI? That's kind of the questions to start to ask and not be afraid, and not, because it's here. We don't have time to be afraid of it anymore. It's here. we're willing. So yeah. And Eric, what's the like? There's a one big thing that there's the regulations around AI or like the security. Some companies are really have to be very careful about the data, the breach, where does it goes, and this thing. How do you balance this with like the scalability of inside your corporation to scale the AI transformation?
Yeah, and just to be accurate, we don't necessarily do it. I mean, of course, we use AI ourselves, but you probably meant like with our customers. So there's a lot of questions around the regulatory things. Like there's the EU safe harbor regulations. There's UK, and after they left the union, I mean, there's all kinds of complications. Naturally, we have Ukraine, we have different things, and then there's of course there's China, which is its own story also. So there's many steps and many different regulatory hurdles what we have to consider, and therefore we have the team to kind of focus on these matters and make things happen. And naturally, not all countries can be always kind of we cannot maybe use the data from those countries or because of the regulations, but we'll figure out the way, and maybe those countries eventually will join. I mean, it's also the same thing in any kind of technological adaptation. Like there has been even in e-invoicing, for example, there's many countries who still demanded like a physical stamp on the paper. So it was an official invoice. And that was even I don't know, 10 years ago, maybe today, I don't know which country, maybe some still do. So it's going to be same with AI. There's going to be regulatory limitations. Also now when DeepSeek is launched and there's going to be a question, is it safe enough? Is it something that kind of makes more harm? Because, you can do bad things with it potentially. So those kind of questions cause problems for the lawmakers and those folks who are making regulations. And I don't know how those are going to be shown in the future or what kind of regulative changes will be happening, but we're sure ready, and we're serving our customers and giving the best we can.
Yeah, and I think that all these regulations for each country, the laws, this will it's not fixed. We're in the middle of an evolving place, and we don't have all the answers. Even the countries, like the government, they don't have all the answers about that. It's really tricky. So us as professionals, we have to be aware, benchmark, be up to date on all that to be the best professional for the clients. But now it's a little bit. There's a lot of blurry parts for me on that part. How it will evolve, I don't have the answer yet, or it can be just a full conversation on one of our talk. But it's good. Thanks, Eerik.
Yeah, I think this get one of the main things that most of the time we convince business managers or business leaders or C-level layers in companies that AI can accelerate the decision-making process for them, either through the data analysis, either through even have like an AI brain thinking with them in any kind of challenges businesses is facing with infinite scenarios that might happen based on some decisions. How do you think this AI governance in influencing the decision-making process across various business sectors? I know the process could be different from like manufacturing to other kind of service type or industries. But how do you think the AI governance can influence the process of decision making?
Hugely.
Clear.
And the reason for that is that the leaders who had to trust in the past only to architects, engineers, and other very intelligent people, they can now do some of the design themselves. And we have a concept for that too called Business Design Studio, which is actually something that we together with our company and the leaders and kind of decision makers from corporations, we are sitting together in their leadership kind of like a it depends what we would design, and we teach them to design by themselves. And naturally we understand it's not like ready-made design that you can implement those immediately. Naturally you need to get an architect, you need to get SMEs to check is that valid and viable and so on sometimes. But the thing is that now our management can actually take part of the design. And that's cool. And that's made possible by AI, really, because you don't need to now learn 100 books to be able to design an engine to the ship. You can actually kind of get that kind of momentum by just using AI and utilizing AI in your design work.
Interesting. Yeah, interesting. That's very adding value. I think this correlates to some of the even this was some it was a personal project I was aiming to work on, but it was lacking some details on how to tailor. It was an assessment I need to build for specific career, and it was like having a lot of details, what kind of questions we need to add, how to measure these kind of things, how to have the scoring to measure the skills, like understand personality of that person based on this specific career. But honestly, by using the AI, I did it. I found myself got the thing that I was even dreaming to have it, and I don't know how to use it. Just talking to the AI, thinking out loud with the AI, and start define and understand what are the steps, and you just follow the steps, nothing more. You'll find yourself that you got your goal done.
I know you like to talk a lot to our own AI agents. He's the pro for that. I know you spend a lot of time discussing with I hope that you won't not give you family issues or anything, but I know you talk a lot with our own AI agents. Yeah, talking about like personal, I even on the other project and with clients, there's a big topic is sustainability, especially in your, I think in your country, Eerik. Like how do you see this is helping like businesses? And there's also a big challenge is also sustainability on the energy. It's asking for the global world. Like and we have DeepSeek coming and saying, okay, we're better, less efficient, more efficient, less energy. This is a big topic which covers energy, but also beyond sustainability inside business. It's a big thing. What's the role you think like has even CEOs to say, okay, we're going to use it and have this balance of using it and not in the sustainability in mind?
Our model also like ensures that we are doing like sustainable development, and AI can be a huge help in that. And also like ethical way of using AI is part of the sustainability naturally. So all that comes together, and naturally these are not necessarily sales aspects always to a company, but some companies do operate on a basis of high levels of sustainability because their consumers are quite knowledgeable about those things and sometimes make the decision based on the sustainability choices those companies made. So it's a big part. And really, like I'm glad to be in Finland, where we have a lot of wind and nuclear and water power. And naturally, I mean, it's already a good combination when you don't want to pollute the air with the CO2. So, we are quite sustainable country. And that's actually one reason why there's a lot of AI computers, like a huge supercomputers now in Finland. Google is making a data centers here in middle of Finland, like nowhere, we would say. But nowhere meaning as in there's a lot of empty space, and it's in the forest of Finland, but there's huge amounts of energy available. So energy is king when it comes to sustainability, when it's clean, because we do have clean energy here and we have a lot of it, especially if it it's a windy weather. We have a lot of excess energy at the moment in Finland, and it's going to be even more in the future. So I don't know, did I answer your question? But that's naturally a big thing for many companies who are operating, at least here, and also like globally, if they're making decision where they should put their data center or is the AI, where is the AI located? Because some say that it's like throwing a bucket of water to a steamer. So takes a lot of energy to run AI too.
Yeah, no, it's your answer. It's also like to seeing your perspective, like in Finland, like it just brings me that there's solutions that will come, solutions that will exist. It's also, and we're also coming on innovation. I think we'll have to innovate on that, but there will be. Yeah, I'm always a little bit optimistic. There was always solutions, and it's the human that has to find it, not the AI. We have to innovate on that part and find the good solution.
Yeah. That's totally clear for me. I think there's another challenge that many people are thinking about, which is the ethical part of using AI, because that's the main differentiator between using an AI versus us as a human. The ethical part of life, the ethical decisions that we might take, or even if it's a very calculated decision, but due to some ethical aspects of whatever decision we're taking, we might not take that decision. How do you think should company approach ethical consideration within their governance frameworks when we are talking about implementing AI?
It's a good question, and the ethical part is it's a big thing today. Naturally, question comes from, for example, DeepSeek is one good example. Is it ethical to use it at all? That's a good question. Then another is like ethicality or ethical. It's debatable what it is also a little bit. Like some people see it differently. Some companies see it differently. And, it could be also like, where are you located globally? That also kind of like makes difference. Is it like ethical to like, it's...
Yeah, it's very subjective. I know it's not the same case when we measure ethical things in different parts of the world. Even within the same country, you might have some changes in the mindset of defining something ethical or unethical from the northern part of your country or even the northern part of your city. Even the neighborhoods, even sometimes we have different aspects to measure things.
Even us, remember, Mohamed, we had like recently, I remember your question. It was with a client on AI, and the question was, is that ethical? And so for Mohamed, it was not too much. For me, I said it's okay. But we had this question, and it happened like 1 week ago, something like that.
Yeah, and we also have like this kind of thing where doctors are using AI, and then we come to I don't know, is it ethicality really? I mean, it's kind of a little bit to do with ethicality also, because if a patient gets medicine that is given by the doctor, but the doctor is using AI, telling the symptoms and asking AI what medicine would be best for this symptom. So then it's debatable. Is it ethical to believe that the AI is correct? What if it's delusional? What if AI is giving a wrong answer or something like that? And I think those things at the moment in European wide, there's some companies which operate with, for example, medical companies and medicine companies and others, which are kind of like getting those approvals from regulatory bodies which are governing the medical industry. And some bigger players get like approvals that they can use in their platforms. They can use AI. For example, recording the doctor's office visit and then transcribing that into AI text, and then doctor is just pressing enter that, okay, yeah, this is what happened when I tested the knee and checked the throat and whatnot, right? But then again, it's a little bit ethical. So I think we could spend rest of the night talking about this, but it's definitely a good subject.
No, it's one, like, just quickly on what you raised on the health part, like, is the doctor using AI to go to the patient? I think one thing to raise, like, this ethical thing, is transparency. Like, if we were like doing the patient directly to talk to the AI, we're not replacing human doctors, whatever, because they'll need stuff, but that will raise, and then it's on your goodwill, you as a patient, to go and take the medicines from the AI. But if there's, like, in between the doctor that asks the AI that replies, it's a lack of transparency for me, like, in between, and we have to be transparent. We're using AI, what kind of model? That's what we do. Like, none of us, like, okay, yes, we're doing that. We're using AI and we're using this model. We're not hiding it. We're transparent. So one of the ethical thing is also to be transparent on what we do on AI, how we do it, just on the ethical part. Getting back, maybe, Eerik, like, the final questions on your side. It's very, very broad. Like, what do you think for you, like, the next future trends on AI governance, and also maybe what innovation can come up? Like, it's very, very open. You can be you can have fun answering that one.
What kind of innovation comes out of our company is focused on joining the business and IT together, and that's done with operating models and business technology standard that we utilize, and it's a free open standard that everybody can use, but we're combining AI to that, and that means that companies in the future will be running in a models assisted by AI governance, which kind of runs through those ideas. When you get an idea of an AI, hey, could AI do this in my company? It's going to be run through that process of AI governance, and we're going to check the risks. We're going to get everything from that trip. And I'm sure many companies like you are doing that, I'm sure. And I truly hope you do. And from that, there's going to be a lot of amazing things. For example, when the agents are being utilized properly with the AI, we can see a company-wide data inventions, what nobody has seen before. Like, we can make decisions based on data that is totally humanly impossible to do by a human, but the agents can do it in seconds.
Yeah,
that's going to be, I think, huge game changer. And somebody said, I think it was Steve Joe, who said it's going to be an HR department for AI agents soon in companies. But I don't know, do we want to go that far? That's quite far-fetched at the moment, but I think it's going to be so much different. Those platforms that can provide AI capabilities, they use millions and millions of dollars to develop those AI capabilities. And when those hit the market, or companies and consumers, we're going to live in a totally different kind of world. We're going to, you actually will have like an Iron Man. You will have an assistant who is going to help you to do whatever you're doing. And, it's going to be amazing, really.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
No, we see it.
We see
it
coming.
we see it coming. That's why we're here. We're in it.
Interesting. Okay, so I think we're done with our points that we were discussing with you, Eerik, today, and we got some few questions from our audience. Let me show the questions and discuss. There's a question: can AI be utilized to monitor and ensure safe and ethical use of AI? I think you answered this partially, but would you like to add more aspects?
Well, I think the question is more like, can the AI be policing AI itself?
Yeah, that's how I understand it also. Yeah.
Well, that's actually amazing question, and not sure am I kind of the right person to answer this, but I personally believe that it is possible because we can have certain kind of triggers. We can have a program that has some thresholds that when AI is kind of like a, how should I say, tasting, smelling, seeing too much something in the company. Like maybe we can even, let's take like something as like for example, using the AI to correct things. For example, if somebody is doing a lot of, like, let's say some, I don't know what that would be, but some kind of malicious things or something that is not ethical in the company, maybe the future AI can kind of like a give like a warning sign that, hey, you're not acting for the behalf of the humanity here. You're doing something else. Or if it's just a company who wants to avoid certain things, for example, let's say there's a legal company who has some ethical walls in place, for sure the AI can govern that the lawyers are, for example, not fiddling with the other companies' information because they have that ethical wall in place that they cannot, fiddle with the other case or something. I mean, I'm sure it's possible. I hope I answered the question.
Yeah, I know. So you're right on the who's the good person. It's because the goal of it is also how to, because we've done that in the digital transformation, like with the containers, like Kubernetes, whatever. Like maybe it's about like have containers of AI spot that the AI will watch another AI. I'm just imagining like this kind of a thing. It's but yeah, everything's possible.
The worst thing is that it could find out that humans are the problem, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think regardless the ethical part of the AI itself, but even we use it internally for our internal use or for clients to validate even the outputs of the AI itself. If you're using like one of the open AI models and you got some results, you can validate this result by another models from Gemini, from even DeepSeek, from whatever model. But in that case, you start get multiple perspectives of the judgment and the assessment of the result, regardless it's something related to ethics or not. But I guess this can be done but we need to collect all the ethical stuff and things, and it definitely will take time to cover the multiple differences and diversity aspects we see ethical things from different countries. Amazing. Well, let's move to the next question. Thank you, Kerbal, for your question. Now we have George. My congrats for this session, gentlemen. A few comments, please, on the rubbish in, rubbish out, or more pickingly bad data for AI-driven decisions.
So few comments, please, on the rubbish in, rubbish out, or more plainly bad data AI during decision. Okay, so I'm guessing this means from George. It means like when the data is not really good and the data is kind of like not sustained or maintained badly or something like that, and then you are letting AI do decisions based on like bad finance data, for example. I think that has already happened in the world. I mean, in some stock market bots and so on and so forth, where things take a wrong turn very easily. And therefore, with the agents also like this, when we are working with the companies, we are always suggesting that when the results from the agent comes, always human will evaluate, will that be actioned on? So we don't want to let, at this point at least, when we don't know enough, we don't want to let the agents run free. We want to kind of like control the AI. Yes. So therefore, I'm thinking the rubbish in, rubbish out. If you see that your data is rubbish, you need to hire a bunch of summer trainees and fix that data first in your company, and then you can run the AI. And the AI can be used to fix the data also. Like the AI is a great tool to redo your rubbish data from your database. So I'm not a DBA, but I'm sure that can be done.
Yeah, that's good what you said, because I think you can have like bad decision or driving, like for example, if you ChatGPT as a broad tool and it's not trained on your own stuff, that maybe some outcomes can be challenging. But us in our job, for sure, that's always what we say to our client. You put AI and you just don't like follow it instantly. We have to train them, and that's why each time that we implement a solution to a client, there's a part, okay, you're going to use it during, I don't know, 1 month, 2 months, or whatever, 3 months, to use it to see the behavior of the AI, and then just not close your eyes and say, okay, he told me this on that, I'll do that and take my business decision on that. No, we always have this period where, since it's trained on their own data, to use it, to train it, to improve it until it's more accurate, like not 100%, but at least to get close to 100. But at the beginning, it's not. So we cannot, that's how we try to avoid these bad driving decisions when we implement, as you, Eerik, also in the company. So that's, we have the same approach that you raised. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is even part of our knowledge sharing for our clients. Whenever we decide to use the AI, we need to consider a subject matter expert from the company itself to judge the AI, to train the AI. And this could correlate on the data cleaning part. If you don't have clean enough data, that's a very important task to avoid the garbage out if you did the garbage in step. And on the other side, the healthcare as well. Even some doctors can use the AI, but at the end, they validate the result of the AI. They just not get the out of the AI with the output and just share it with the patient. They need to validate. They need to add their human touch on it, and even to explain it for the patient. The AI sometimes give you unlimited or multiple scenarios of your whatever thing you're having pain at, but the doctors should explain to the patients, or the experts in any case should be the first line to defend having a garbage out from any AI. Thank you, George, for your question. Moving to the last question, that's a bit long, from Calvin, coming from the US. How does the potential for AI to develop or simulate personal attributes like empathy, emotional intelligence, or even subjects' feelings challenges our understanding of rational decision making? That's the first part. The second part, what are the implications of how we design, implement, and regulate AI systems, particularly in the sensitive area like healthcare, added customer service, or even personal relationship? That's a big topic that might need like very long discussion, but what do you think, guys?
I know Calvin. He's a colleague of mine, and he's a great
Okay, so that's just for you.
amazing individual from Chicago, actually. Hi, Calvin. So the thing is, we don't know yet how AI will be handling these kind of personal attributes for real, because AI is having so much delusion and so on and so forth. Like in some cases, we maybe should not yet rely on AI on that side, in my understanding. So therefore, I again suggest that there would be always like a human at the moment still who would be kind of like executing that decision. So AI will be more like suggesting, helping, and then the human will be executing, because otherwise is the AI doing necessarily the right decision here? And then when it comes to sensitive areas like healthcare and customer service and so on, we all know and heard stories about somebody fooling the customer service agents and things like that, and then the bots got totally crazy. That I believe that can happen with today also. But therefore, we need to have again human control still to make sure, or the bots will always that they will not learn so much that they will change their whole agenda, that it would be more simplified in that sense. We don't yet know how much we can use it in healthcare. We can definitely use it as a helpful. Think about doctors. They read like a huge amount of books and they have knowledge. When they have AI with them, they can be like every doctor. They can have like a much more knowledge than one doctor who is specialized on, for example, children or some other field of medicine. They can get like suddenly they will become experts of heart surgeon level or something like that. I don't know because I'm not a doctor, but I'm thinking that could be helpful in nowadays, that we can actually get that kind of like assistance as a doctors, and that would be huge benefit. Also, like if doctors forget something, they could be tired. They're human too. AI is never tired. So it will always suggest something. So it will help the doctor's process to give the best possible Medicare for the patients.
Interesting. I might add as well here for the healthcare part. One of our planned talks, by the way, will be about this topic. We have a very specialized doctor from the US will talk about this. But from what I have got and learned during the last like few months about how they implement the AI in the healthcare, definitely it accelerates the value of the doctors, as you said, Eerik, that sometimes it's not that clear for some doctors to define what is the best medicine for your pain or your problem you have, medical healthcare problem or issue. But having such very strong AI agents or engines that have all of these medical use cases and healthcare details, definitely it will help a lot to define faster what are the best medicine, or even what is the pain point, what is the problem. If you're feeling headache, it's not actually the headache. You might having some other challenge or problem in your body system to define these kind of things. For customer service, definitely it helps a lot in many things, but all the time we consider how we can protect the user's data, and that's very, very crucial and very important. But for the emotions part, no one can imagine what will happen. But some people started, honestly, that's scary. Some people started to use it as virtual friends, like talking, asking about some very personal things, taking some feedbacks. Like I have a virtual friend who is my very close friend, but that's a bit scary for me, honestly. But I think a lot of things will happen in this area in the coming few, not years, but I guess in the very few, like 1 or 2 years.
Yeah, that's maybe when just to finish like the topic we talked about, like the laws that will come, regulation that will come in place, maybe in some topic that where the world will have to scope some stuff
Yeah.
on that. Yeah.
Interesting. Yani, I think we got on time. We finished the questions. We finished our conversation. I'm so excited for this conversation, Eerik, with you. Thank you so much again for this very insightful and valuable thoughts you shared with us. Personally, it adds value for myself. Thank you so much, and thanks for our lovely audience for being with us.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Eerik. It was very insightful, and we had fun. And thanks for being the first one of this season 2. And yeah, big thanks, and we're grateful to have you during this talk.
Thank you. Really, I really appreciate that you guys took me part of this. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.